Hello everyone, this is Dwayne Rothman with BASF Technical Service in southern Minnesota. I want to give everyone an update on the new Engenia herbicide registration for 2021. The EPA has approved a new 5-year label for the dicamba products for use in dicamba-tolerant soybeans, including Engenia. Most states will have identical registrations to the federal registration we're talking about here today, but it's always important to make sure we check with the Department of Ag guidelines if there are any additional requirements. At this point, we don't see any additional requirements from the states. One of the changes for 2021 is a requirement of a pH buffering agent to be added to the tank for all uses of the dicamba products. BASF will have a buffering agent called Centris, which will be used at 8 ounces per acre to stabilize the pH in order to minimize volatility. Another change for 2021 is that the Engenia label has been simplified. Applications are to be completed by June 30th, so there is no longer a growth stage or days after planting cutoff. Also, the label has been simplified in that the only crops on the label will be dicamba-tolerant soybeans or dicamba-tolerant cotton. A third change for the label in 2021 is the physical buffer distance. The physical buffer distance is 240 feet downwind to sensitive areas. And sensitive areas are non-residential, uncultivated areas, or bodies of water. Now, if you're in one of the counties that is designated as having endangered species, then the downwind buffer is 310 feet towards those sensitive areas. And you can check the EPA website listed here below to see where the endangered counties are in Minnesota. Now, this is different from the discussion we have on sensitive crops. So if you have a sensitive crop, such as soybeans, non-dicamba tolerant soybeans, or a residential area, then we say, do not make the application if sensitive crops and sensitive residential areas are downwind. Here is a view of the endangered species counties in southern Minnesota and eastern South Dakota. For example, you'll see that in southern Minnesota, the counties in pink are endangered. So that would mean Murray, Pipestone, Lincoln, and Pope counties in the western side of the state, and Olmsted, Winona, and Fillmore in the eastern side of the state are endangered species counties. You'll also see the endangered species counties in the eastern part of South Dakota. Again, if you have a field to be sprayed with Engenia or other dicamba products in 2021, you do need to check this website, and if your field is in one of those endangered species counties, you do need to follow the downwind buffer guidelines of 310 feet downwind and 57 feet on other sides of the field. A fourth change to highlight is the glyphosate use. The qualification standards for the pH buffering agents we talked about earlier were set using potassium salts of glyphosate. Therefore, the label only allows the use of potassium salts of glyphosate, where previously other salts of glyphosate and other brands were approved in the past. So the approved potassium salts of glyphosate are the only ones that can be tank mixed with Engenia, and those brands are listed on this slide. These are the main changes for 2021, but there will be continued updates, so we ask you to check the EngeniaTankMix.com website, which is an extension of the label with additional information. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to consult your local BASF business rep or Ag Solutions advisor. When you go to the EngeniaTankMix.com website, you'll see the Engenia Herbicide Stewardship Portal, which includes a lot of good information to check prior to making any application. First, there's the training opportunities for 2021. So all applicators will be required to have completed dicamba training in 2021, which will be online for all applicators. There's also a checklist prior to any application. There's a spray tool section, which has some very good information on monitoring weather. Then there's a tank mix section, which is probably the most important one to check, as it includes all of the aspects of using Engenia herbicide and all the products that can be used in a tank with Engenia, including your adjuvants, various herbicide tank mixes, including the glyphosates, the potassium salt glyphosates we talked about, as well as the approved spray nozzles, and even a new section which allows to reduce that downwind buffer to sensitive areas if you're using a red ball hooded bander. So I hope this information on the new registration has been helpful. Again, if you have any questions, please consult your BSF business representative or Ag Solutions advisor, and I wish you well in 2021.